Well, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. We're doing a little striper fishing today. Man, I'm hoping it's going to be good. The water's kind of high. We've had some warm weather, so I think some fish have moved into the river. I know some other rivers are pretty good right now, but there's been, you know, this river is kind of one of the rivers that gets the fish last, if that makes sense. Like, for some reason, the fish come up this river a little bit later. So we're hoping we get a couple fish today. I don't know. I know that we're fishing a little derby today, so it's like a little fun derby with a bunch of friends. It's like 10 bucks a person. So biggest fish usually wins. And I'm gonna be honest, with these guys, it takes one fish. Whoever catches a fish usually wins. So just because it's the time of year, it's a little slower. They're not quite in the river, so I'm hoping we can run into a couple fish. I've heard there are a few fish being caught. Haven't heard of any big ones being caught, but I've heard of a few fish, so at least that's a good sign. I got my dad, Kyle. You've seen him plenty of times on the channel. He has this guide business. I'll make sure I put everything down below. It's a Bite Me Baits guide service. He's a really good dude. He catches a lot of fish. He's on the water a lot, so he understands where fish are at, when they're supposed to be there, kind of deal. Big striper, salmon, steelhead guy. So he's been on the stripers. You know, him and I went out last Friday, and I think we caught, I don't know, 40 to 50 stripers. I mean, nothing giant. The biggest one we caught was like 12 pounds. So a lot of schoolies, a lot of smaller fish, but that's all right. It was still a blast. So if you want to book a trip, you know, make sure you hit up Kyle, and he's pretty reasonable on prices too. So he just got a brand new boat. It's a 24-foot Willie 250 Yamaha with a little 9.9 kicker. It's absolutely beautiful boat. It's like a battleship. Thing don't move at all. You go to one side of the boat and it's just stationary. It doesn't freaking want to lean over. So unlike a drift boat where if you lean over to one side, that thing feels like it's gonna flip. So this boat's pretty sweet. Yeah, so give them a look. But anyway, we're gonna go striper fishing today. Hopefully we catch a couple fish. We're gonna be throwing some A-rigs, some glide baits, some single swim baits, and yeah, hopefully run into a few. Just let's start fishing, huh? Yeah, it'd be crazy if the water was this high during salmon season.
I don't remember
Dump it all.
What's that?
You'll dump it all in the water.
Compared to other places like Shasta and Oregon.
This one?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh,
I forgot we're filming today. I gotta be quiet. God dang, we didn't even. Okay. Fair enough.
Well,
first cast.
It didn't take very long. Probably, what, a 4-pounder? 3-pounder or so? Not bad.
Yep.
It's a good sign. Freaking smoked it.
Oh, that's a good sized fish.
Not bad.
What, 25, 24, 25 inches?
Yeah.
It's so funny nowadays. One thing I've noticed about stripers, how many people go by inches and not pounds.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I'll be like, well, how much did it weigh? They're like, well, I don't know, but it was like 31 inches. I'm like, okay.
That does nothing for me, but I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I've just always gone by pounds, so I don't care if it's 25 inches. I mean, at least I
Mhm.
know it's 4, 5, 6 pounds. You know?
Plug works so nice.
Oh, anywhere through here, especially down the middle of it.
Right?
You want to just go through and we'll cast it once, and we can even go back up and.
I mean, we
Or
got.
what do you want to do?
I mean, noon's gonna. I feel like gonna hit us pretty quick.
Uh huh.
I'd rather just
Keep it
floating,
moving.
You know.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if you want to hit that eddy on the other side. Or
I
if you wanna
definitely do.
keep
Yeah.
floating down this side.
I kind of want to fish the inside just down to the bridge right here,
Yeah.
and then go back up a little bit, and then cut over right here. Just because like there's that little pocket right there. That looks pretty good.
Well, they're right at the
Well, there's
right at the boat.
Yes.
Oh, did you see that?
That's a steelhead, dude.
Was that a steelhead?
That was a steely.
Dude, I saw him following all the way up.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
That was badass, yeah. Top, and then the kids were jumping on top of it, and so I mean, it's still the top's fine. It's just let all the water.
Even after this point, that looks good. This looks good, pretty good for salmon right here on this like seam.
Right off of it.
Seam.
Right off of it. There's one. You want the net?
Oh, I can't do that. I thought it would be.
Good one, though.
Got that back one. God, stop me. My track. I thought it was. Alright. Move.
Alright, fair enough.
Hey, nice to see you. Likewise, huh?
Nice hat, man. That's
I
a
know,
sharp
this
look
guy,
at
I know. Just hooked it up. I don't normally wear pink, but when I do, I catch fish.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I might, by the end of the day, I might just be like. Nice.
That's a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's a chunky little bit. Hold that real quick.
Right on.
That's why.
A good one.
No, not a bad one.
Oh, like to go, that would take too long. To go to the truck right now, and then go back to the
Hey, what's
top
up?
of the vehicle, go back down, drop the other vehicle off, and then come back.
Short-handed today at work.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Because it's Saturday?
People call in. There's only 3 people. Usually we have 6 people on Saturday. Well, guys, that's a wrap for this video. As you guys can tell, at the very end of this video, I had a phone call. I actually had to go to work. So, I couldn't stay to the weigh-in. And my fish that I caught was roughly, I think it weighed 6 pounds. It was enough for the win. As you guys can see, I got the Big Fish Trophy, BFD, Big Fish Derby. I get to keep this trophy for a year, and then next year I got to bring this trophy back, and then whoever wins it or wins this tournament, I give them this trophy. So this is a trophy. It's homemade, but you know, this has been passed down for I can't tell you how many years. Been fishing this tournament off and on for the last probably 16, 17 years. So I've actually won this trophy multiple times. Pretty cool to have. Get to hang it up with all my other trophies, and then at the end of the year, or the next year, I get to pass it to whoever wins it that next year. So pretty cool. You know, BFD, Big Fish Derby. Yeah, you know, like I said, it's not, you know, big entry fee. It's like $10 a person. Obviously, I have to say thanks for Kyle. You know, he did a lot of the rowing, and then after I caught my limit, we switched, and you know, I let him fish. So, and he ended up catching like a 5-pounder, which was, you know, I think second big fish or whatnot. Which, you know, in reality, those stripers isn't a big striper. You know, these fish obviously can get pretty big. You know, 40+ pounds. You know, and so a 6-pounder isn't very big, and I know they get really big on this river, but you know, the water's cold, the water's high. And like I said earlier in the video, like this, we get this run of fish later in the season, so it was pretty good for us. I think we, you know, caught a handful of fish, and overall it was a good day. So I know in the video I talked about salmon fishing a lot, and you know, like, oh, this looks really good for salmon and whatnot. And we're just thinking, you know, because Kyle and I are really big salmon fishermen and love salmon fishing, and unfortunately salmon season is closed this year. Pretty bummed about it, just because, you know, we like to do that in the fall. But I think we might, you know, Kyle and I were talking, we might do a trip here soon to go chase some salmon while it's still open somewhere else. So looking forward to doing that. You know, it's just, as right now, it's just kind of talk. Not too sure if we're going to do it or not, but it'll be pretty cool if we do. But, you know, huge shout out, oh my gosh, can't speak. Huge shout out to Kyle for rowing the boat, bringing his boat, and rowing down the river for the most part. But yeah, fun tournament. You know, fun little derby with the guys. I think I won, it was $10 a person, $120, which, you know, fills a gas tank, you know, but it's fun. It's kind of bragging rights, and got this cool little trophy. But I don't know. Shoot, what else? I don't know what I got going on next. You know, I when I do these videos, I don't really talk a whole lot in front of the camera. To be honest, I feel kind of awkward talking in front of the camera when I got other people around. I do a lot better job when I'm solo, you know, by myself. So I sit down and kind of describe what I'm talking about. Even though Kyle, my dad, don't care whatsoever when I'm talking, it just, me, I just kind of get choked up, and I can't really talk in front of the camera. So, you know, honestly, I hate doing my outros in the garage here, but, you know, like I said, I had to go to work. I had to work that, you know, that day. I had to get off the water at like, I think 9:45. Weigh-in was at 1 o'clock, so I had to get over to work. My dad stayed a little bit later to weigh my fish in, and he sent me a picture of the trophy and you know, obviously the fish that I caught. So it was pretty cool, you know. And he stopped by the shop and dropped off the trophy and gave me my winnings. So pretty cool. Looking forward to get back out there. You know, the water's high, the water's cold, shad are starting to show up, so maybe I'll do a shad video pretty soon. But I think I'm gonna get back out on the river here and chase some more stripers, because I love fishing for stripers. They fight hard. You know, don't get me wrong, I like fishing for bass too, but something about chasing some stripers and having a chance to hooking a absolute giant, you know, 20 to 40 pounds just gets me excited, you know, every trip, because you never know. Honestly, you never know when you're gonna catch that big one. So and there's giants all over the place, you know, around here. So just the other day, my dad went down and he hooked a giant, and he said it was 40, but who knows? You know, I didn't see it. He said when it ate his bait, the whole bait was just, he disappeared in the fish's mouth, and the fish almost spooled him. So then with the barbless hooks, it just popped off. So giant fish, but I know there's some giant ones around. Hopefully the next trip, or one of these trips, we're going to run into one of those fish. I think I'm going to kind of target them quite a bit this year, just because the salmon season is going to be closed. And I got really no tournaments coming up. You know, the only other tournament I got is that I plan on fishing is Snag Proof, and Snag Proof is like the first weekend of August. So we're just going to go fun fishing and try to, you know, catch some big ones. At least that's kind of what I want to do. You know, catching fish is great, but, you know, if I can catch a big fish, that kind of makes the trips worth it for me. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the video right here. Hopefully you guys liked it. We'll be striper fishing again some more, so stay tuned, and maybe we'll catch a giant.